For today's video, we'll be taking a look at the new 1200W ATX 3.1 fully modular power supply unit by Lian Li, the SX1200P. As a product offering from the new SX lineup of PSUs, these new power supply units feature 80+ platinum certification, and we also get 850W and 1000W variants. Now, let's unbox the SX1200P that we've got here, take a closer look at its specifications, and as an added bonus, I'll also be using it as part of a demo build featuring Lian Li's new LANCOOL 217 Infinity PC case. Let's get started. Now, the SX lineup of PSUs are available in both black and white, and Lian Li sent over the black variant of the SX1200P for this review. In terms of packaging, the PSU comes shipped in a rectangular box with Lian Li's signature black and blue colorway, with information on the specs of the PSU peppered on all sides of the box. Let's unbox the PSU to see what Lian Li is included with it. Right, so first up, in terms of accessories, we get a thank you card like so. And this is accompanied by a user's manual. Next up, we get a pack of cable ties. And these are accompanied by a power cord. We do also get a cloth bag that contains the modular cables that come included with this PSU. We'll take a closer look at these modular cables later on in this video. And finally, we've got the PSU itself right here. Here it is, the SX1200P power supply unit, and immediately, the first impression that I get, it's pretty compact for a 1200W PSU that's 80+ platinum certified, where given that it has a depth of just 140mm, it should fit very easily in most PC cases with no issues at all. In case you're wondering about its exact dimensions, the SX1200P and in fact, the rest of the SX lineup measures in at 150mm by 86mm by 140mm. In terms of aesthetics, the SX1200P has a pretty run-of-the-mill appearance for a power supply unit. We get your usual power cable connector and ventilation openings on the front of the PSU. You'll notice that it also comes with an on-off switch right next to the power switch. This switch is used to enable or disable the PSU's fanless operation mode. I'll talk more about this feature later on in this video. Over on the rear of the PSU, we get your usual modular connectors for the various cables that the SX1200P comes with, and on the left side, we get the Lian Li logo and model of PSU printed on, nothing too fancy here. And on the right side of the PSU, detailed specs of the SX1200P along with the usual safety warnings and such. We don't get anything of note on the top panel of the PSU. And over on the bottom panel, we catch a glimpse of the 120mm FDB cooling fan through an embossed mesh panel that has some interesting geometric effects for added visual interest. And this is all topped off by a plastic Lian Li badge in this corner right here. Let's move on to take a look at the cables that come included with the SX1200P. Again, we do get some minor variations in terms of what cables come included with the SX lineup as per the chart that you can see on the screen, which also has the respective lengths of cables that come included with the PSU. Some features to point out about the PSU cables. Lian Li has included an in-house custom-molded 12V 2x6 connector for the graphics card power cable. Seeing how this connector's design has gotten a bad rep with countless stories of melted connectors when improperly inserted into the corresponding power connectors of power-hungry cards such as the RTX 5090 and the RTX 4090. In that regard, we get a dual-color connector design where the blue bits will fully disappear if the connector is properly inserted into the 12V high-power connector on the graphics card, like so. If it's improperly inserted, you'll be able to see a tinge of blue, like so, which is a great feature to have for sure. Also, the connector seems pretty sturdily built. We can see that the pins embedded within the housing of the 12V 2x6 connector do not move at all, even if I were to manipulate the cables a fair bit. This should go a long way in helping to make sure that the connector's properly seated when hooked up to your graphics card. On that note, it's great to see that with the SX1200P, we get a 12V 2x6 cable that terminates in two 8-pin PCIe power connectors, which does give end users a lot of flexibility in terms of how to run the respective power cables to your graphics card, be it one that uses the 12V 2x6 connector or one that uses the traditional 8-pin PCIe power connector. We do also get 3 vanilla 8-pin PCIe power cables with the SX1200P, plenty of power cables to go around for your devices. Another point to note, the main PSU cables feature a flexible braided design that helps make cable management more effortless. Where we also get cable combs for some of the modular cables to further help things along from an aesthetics and tidiness perspective. The accessory cables, such as the SATA power cables and the 12V 2x6 to dual 8-pin PCIe cables, come with flat ribbon sleeving instead. Let's run through the specs of the SX lineup of power supplies real quick. We get 3 power options to choose from: 850 watts, 1000 watts, and 1200 watts. The PSU is really compact in size, where it has a depth of just 140 mm, making it really suitable for PC builds where space is an issue. The SX lineup is ATX 3.1 compliant and conforms to the 80+ Platinum standard in terms of efficiency, and it also features a 120mm fluid dynamic bearing fan for cooling, where it comes with a silent operation mode that I'll talk about shortly. For peace of mind, the SX lineup comes with a 10-year warranty, and if we were to pop over to PPLP's website, that is, the certifying body for PC hardware components such as PSUs, they've given the SX1200P in particular a Platinum rating, where this PSUs also received a S rating in terms of noise levels under medium and heavy loads, which is great to see and really reassuring. One feature that Lian Li touts with the SX lineup is the fact that the PSUs come with a smart cooling feature that switches off the cooling fan when the PSU is at or under 40% load, which helps to reduce noise levels and extends the lifespan of the cooling fan. End users have the choice of enabling or disabling this feature by flipping this switch here accordingly. When the switch is set to off, this means that the smart fan mode will be active and the fan will only kick in at PSU loads above 40%. When the switch is set to on, this disables the smart fan mode, and the fan will run as long as your PC is powered on. Rounding off this section on PSU specs, it does seem that the SX lineup of PSUs, or at least the SX1200P in particular, is very likely based off an OEM design from a Chinese company called Zhongyuan Power, as per this little line here on the side of the PSU. Just a little tidbit of information in case you're wondering who the OEM is for this PSU. Right, so to put the SX1200P through its paces, I'll be installing it as part of a gaming PC demo build that features a boatload of Lian Li parts. We've got a Lian Li LANCOOL 217 Infinity case with a bunch of Lian Li Uni Fan SL-Inf Wireless 120mm case fans, a Lian Li HydroShift II LCD-S 360 TL AIO CPU cooler, and of course the SX1200P power supply unit. Now, installing the SX1200P inside the LANCOOL 217 Infinity was pretty straightforward, again owing to the fact that the SX1200P has pretty compact dimensions. The LANCOOL 217 Infinity has 2 mounting positions for the PSU, and as can be seen, I have the SX1200P mounted in the sideways position. Getting the cables to where they needed to go was pretty easy too, all thanks to the braided cables of the PSU, and the cable combs really do help in making the cables look just that little bit neater, which is always appreciated. All in all, the SX1200P was very easy to get set up in the demo build, and that's the cue for the aesthetic reel featuring this said demo build. To sum up, the Lian Li SX1200P power supply unit comes across as a pretty capable product offering with lots of things going for it. Its main selling point being that you get lots of power as well as quality in a compact package. We're talking about a depth of just 140 mm. The quality of the included modular cables is great, and I like how Lian Li's included a 12V 2x6 power cable that terminates in two 8-pin PCIe power connectors so that you can easily use this PSU with a graphics card that utilizes the more traditional 8-pin PCIe power connector. In terms of pricing, the SX1200P is available to purchase for MSRP of around $160. The SX1000P, that is, the 1000 watt variant of this power supply unit, is available for an MSRP of around $150. Finally, we've got the 850 watt version, that is, the SX850P, which can be had for a price of around $120. With that, thank you so much for watching, hit the like button and get subscribed if you've enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you guys around the next time.